Hello again. Thanks for being here to chat with me tonight. I wanted to make a video tonight because I'm very excited, and I wanted to talk about the Xenoblade Chronicles series. And the reason I wanted to talk about it is because tomorrow is the release of Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition on the Switch, and I am very excited. I have a order. I have a pre-order of it. I'm getting the physical copy, and I'm going to go pick it up tomorrow and start to play the game. And I have some time off this weekend from work, so I'm going to be able to, go degenerate gamer and put some hours in on it. And because of that, I wanted to kind of just go talk about the other games in the series, my experience with them, and then I also wanted to just talk about my hype for the new game coming out tomorrow. So I've played Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, and 3, and um, the first game is my favorite, and then the second game, and then the third game, which we'll get to. So I did not play the original game on the Wii. I think it was just on the Wii. That was kind of like in a period. Well, I did actually have a Nintendo Wii. I only had a handful of games on it. I mostly played Tiger Woods Masters Golf or something on it, but I did not play the original game. I did play the definitive edition on the Switch, and the Nintendo Switch kind of got me back into gaming in general, and especially like RPGs. Um, when I got the Switch, shortly thereafter is when they announced Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition was coming out for the Switch, and I had no idea about anything about this game, but it was an RPG, and I was like, this looks good. People are interested in it, and so I picked it up right away when it came out. And man, I mean, this video is mostly going to be gushing about that first game. The first game in the series is so good. I hold it very high in my overall, video games of all time. Boy, what makes it so good? It's a great RPG. It's a very big game. I think I spent 90 plus hours in it. Where the characters are so good. Shulk, Ryan, Fiora, I think Ricky. I mean, man, like when you have an RPG and you have like a small cast, the characters are really important. And this game nails the characters. The voice acting, I think they're like British voice actors. They're so good. And the story is wild. There's plot twists and turns. It goes into like a sci-fi type thing in the end. It's such a great game all around. There's like nothing to complain about this game. The battle system was very original. I've never played anything like that. It's kind of like an MMO type of thing where it kind of like auto attacks, but then you have skills. Um, and I knew, like, talking about this game, one thing I had to talk about is the soundtrack for Xenoblade Chronicles. It is an all-timer. Like, a lot of times, like, some of the best games, like, when you remember them, the soundtrack for me is such an important thing. Like, some of my favorite games, I think back, they're all the ones with the best soundtracks. Xenoblade Chronicles soundtrack is amazing. It is so good. After I beat the game, I would just put the soundtrack on and listen to it. It's so good. The world building and the environment that it takes place in is epic and huge and diverse and colorful and everything you would want out of a fantasy game. What else? What other parts of a game are there? I don't know. This game, the original game, just excels at everything. I loved it. I was hooked. I did almost everything you could do in the game. There might have been maybe 2 or 3 super bosses I didn't take down or whatever, but man, the first game is just so special. It got me hooked on the series, and if you're going to play any game in the series, play that first one. I know it's the first one, but it's it's just such a fabulous game. I have such fond memories of it. I remember it's just so good. I guess I'll leave it at that. And then after I played that, obviously I was very, the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 had actually come out before the definitive edition of the first one. And so I was like, okay, I obviously have to play the second game. So I did. I think I got a digital version of it because the original um, physical copy of that game was kind of scarce for whatever reason. But Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is also a very good game. It's interesting because it's similar, but it's also very different in a lot of ways. Um, what can I say about 2? Again, it's very different vibe, a little bit more comedy, very anime. Um, it has like kind of like the gotcha. It's like not a paid game, but it's like got a gotcha system in it for like getting additional Blade characters, which is a little weird. Um, a very large game, another great soundtrack, good characters, a little zanier maybe, but um, maybe even like a little bit deeper of a like more systems and stuff like that. But the second game I really liked. The story was good. It like does tie into the first one. I think that the story is kind of crazy. Like if I at a certain point of depth of the story, I kind of probably get lost a little bit. But overall, it's very good. And I spent a long time with this game. I think with the second game, I was starting to get a little burnt out towards the end. There was still a ton of like side quest getting new blades that I didn't do everything in the second game. I think I was just a little bit, I don't know if I played it right after the first one or not, but I just got a little burnt out from it a little bit. But um, the second one is a very good game. It had a great ending, I remember. But yeah, I kind of got close to the end, and I was like, I kind of just want to finish it to see what the end of the story is, instead of like, continuing to do like side quests and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I have to look up how many hours I spent in it. I want to say it's like 70 plus or something. Um, the game had a couple flaws in it, but with like I think like navigating the world and stuff like that. Um, and the voice acting in the second one was maybe not as quality as like the main character Rex is a little goofy. I don't know. He's an odd character, but I enjoyed the second game, right? And let me get to the third game. This is I know like talking about this is going to be the video game ding ding shame. I did I was so excited for the third game because obviously I love the first two. I actually got the special edition for the third game, which I don't think I've ever bought a special edition of a game ever. Like that's the only one I got because it came with an art book and all this stuff. I was so hyped for it. I only got about halfway through it. I still to this day have not completed Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And I don't know if I fully understand why. I mean, the general consensus is that it's a fantastic game. People love it. People thought it was game of the year. It it was good. It's not like I didn't like it. It was good. Um, New cast of characters, um, similar battle system, similar setup and stuff like that. I don't know. I just the characters were good, but I was not vibing with the characters nearly as much as the first game, if I'm being honest. Um, and it leaned into like the anime, just like super. I don't know. It was just like I don't know. It's one of those games where just like I wanted to like that game so much, obviously, and it just wasn't clicking as much as the other games for me. And I kind of, I think part of it too was that sometimes when I'm playing games, especially like these days, sometimes I'll play like maybe like two games at the same time. You know, like I'll play like maybe 2 hours of one game, and if I get tired of it, I'll switch to a second game that I'm playing. And I kind of like to like pair up two games where like maybe one's more like strategy and one's more like action. So that way, if I kind of get tired of one gameplay, I switch to another. I think with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I might have also been playing some other game that was like much more interesting or exciting. And so maybe I think that also kind of contributed to me like just wanting to play the other game more, and eventually I just got too far away from 3 and I just dropped it or whatever. I don't know, it's hard to say. But again, you know, 3 is not a bad game. It's definitely like very high on my list of games that I would really like to go back. That I was thinking about that because I probably have maybe like a half dozen games that I did like not finish that I would really like to, and maybe I'll make a video that kind of talks about that list of games. But um, but yeah, I mean overall 1, 2, and 3 are fantastic games. Again, one is one of the I consider one of the goats of video games. It's just that good, and the series in a whole is very unique. It sets itself apart from other games. It just does so many things well. Um, so again, if you're watching this and you're interested about the Xenoblade series, please play them. Very good. Start with the first one. It's the best one, I think. And I guess that'll lead me into this new game. So obviously, I've loved this series, and there was always this like dark horse, whatever, Xenoblade Chronicles X, and it was only on the Wii U, which is a console that not a lot of people bought. I did not have a Wii U, and but a lot of people that did play the game loved it, and they would talk it up and talk about how it was different from the series, and it was kind of more of like a Zelda exploration game, and it maybe had more like MMO type of feel to it, which I've always been interested in, and so it sounded awesome. Like I remember, I've watched many like YouTube videos about the release of the game, people's reviews of the game. Just I've watched like people play like a half an hour of the game and stuff like that. And I even considered like maybe getting a Wii U at some point just so I could literally play this one game because I was so into the Xeno series. Never ended up doing that, and thankfully, it finally is coming out for the Switch. So, um, just so excited. Again, this is one of those games where I've known about for a long time. I've wanted to play it, but have been unable to because of its limitations for, where it's available to play. And now it's coming on a system that I have. So it's so cool. So, again, some of the reasons I'm excited to play Xenoblade Chronicles, um, the open world of it, the MMO. I mean, it sounds like it's a big grindy game, which is cool. And also, I am actually with a lot of these release trailers that they've been releasing before the game. I really am into the story so much, and I think I've heard that the game is not as much like story based as some of the other games, but like the concept of like these alien races fighting and like destroying Earth, and there's just like one ship or two that like make the escape, and then they're traveling through space, and then this alien race hunts them down, and they have to like make a forced landing on some foreign planet, and they set up base and have to like find a way to survive. Like, wow, like what a cool story! That is amazing. I am here for that setup of a story. I don't know where it goes. I mean, it'll probably go crazy because it's Xenoblade. Um, but yeah, I'm very into the story. Um, I but I don't know if I know if I should get into this, but I like I used to make movies, and I have lots. I used to like write movies. I have all these movie ideas, and I've been interested in actually like making like a comic or manga or whatever of this one story that kind of involves like an alien race coming to like destroy the planet and people escaping. So it's funny because it ties right into that theme. Um, I won't go into too much more detail right now because that's something else, but um, I'm excited for the story. I'm into aliens and I'm into this whole survival thing and like an alien planet and stuff, like the sci-fi element of it. And I guess there's like a new story that kind of maybe like wraps up the ending because I guess it ends on a cliffhanger. I haven't played it, as you can tell. I mean, I don't really know too much about it, which is why I'm so excited. So yeah, I guess that maybe that's a good place to end it. Like I said, the series is great. I'm excited for this game tomorrow. Um, so I just wanted to make a video to kind of blab about it. Again, I could probably go on about that first game a lot more, just about the characters and the different battle systems and all that kind of goodness. Uh, it's just a fantastic game. Um, so yeah. So anyways, well, thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit and hearing me yap. And I hope you have a good night. I'll see you next time. Bye.